Good morning, Christopher Farms. It's Miss Backer here, and it is Wednesday, and it is my favorite time of the week because it is time for our read aloud. And today's read aloud is a book that I usually read at the beginning of every school year, and it's because it goes with our theme of resilience, but also growth mindset. And so I'm going to go ahead. This is a book. It's called The Most Magnificent Thing, and it's by Ashley Spires, and she's given us permission to read it. And let me tell you, it is seriously one of my favorite books. I would say at least top 5. There's not been one school year that I haven't started it off by reading this book, by not reading this book. So I hope you like it as much as I really like it. And thank you again for the permission so that I can share this amazing book. All right. The Most Magnificent Thing. Written and illustrated by Ashley Spires. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. That's her dog right there. And they do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things and he unmakes things. One day, the girl had a wonderful idea. She was going to make the most magnificent thing. I wonder what she's going to make. She knows just how it will look, and she knows just how it will work. And all she has to do is make it. And she makes things all the time. So easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. It's a good-looking assistant. Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way and get right to work. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she's finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. Doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. Doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It is all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. Some resilience right there. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles, and her assistant circles and tugs and whacks. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. She decides to try again. Look at that growth mindset. The girl saws and glues and adjusts, and she stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens, and she fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square. She makes it round. She gives it legs. She adds an antenna. She makes it fuzzy. And she makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells like stinky cheese. Ew. But none of them are magnificent. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind, and she gets mad. Oh, remember we talked, it's not good to get mad even when you're frustrated. The angrier she gets, the faster she works, and she smashes pieces into shapes, and she jams the parts together, and she pummels the little bits in. Her hands feel too big to work, and her brain is too full of all the not right things. If only the thing would just work. Oh, she's angry. Crunch! See what happens when we get so frustrated? The pain starts in her finger and it rushes to her brain, and then she explodes. It's not her finest moment. I'm no good at this. I quit. Well, that's no growth mindset or resilience. Her assistant suggests a walk. It's a good strategy. However, it's not much help at first. But before long, she starts to feel different. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing that she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again. Then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong things that are really quite right. The bolts on one and the shape on the other, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. There are all sorts of parts that she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. And her assistant makes sure there's no distractions. This thing is the perfect thing to ward off bears, this man says. This lady says, oh, this will stop the leak. And this little boy said, this one's all wet. The afternoon fades into the evening, and finally she finishes. She alerts her sister, or assistant. The pair take a good long look. It leans a little to the left, and it's a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing. And if you see, it's a scooter that has a little side cart for her assistant. So you see, she had an idea. It wasn't quite thought out, and she had to work really hard. This is the perfect example of resilience and growth mindset, especially when she took every opportunity, and she might have wanted to give up at first, but she used a coping strategy. She took a walk, and instead of giving up completely, she used it as an opportunity to try again and to look for things that might help her make that scooter. And yes, she did have to take a break, and yes, she might have had to fail a couple of times, but she kept going and she kept moving forward. And that's what growth mindset and resilience is all about. So I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did. And remember, you might not succeed on the first, the second, the third. I think our friend didn't succeed until the fifth try. But that's okay, as long as you keep moving forward. And, I can always be your assistant, or your teacher could be your assistant, or even mom or dad or grandma and grandpa could all be your assistants when you need help. So I hope that you have a fabulous day and a productive day, and you keep practicing that growth mindset, because that's going to make you be the most amazing colt that you can be. Have a great day.